Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Not So Pro Football Talk. Today we're coming at you with the Bracket Mania, the aftermath. If you guys did not know, we released a bracket for NSP. It is our third annual. I'm pretty sure that you got that right with third annual bracket that we released for the playoffs, and we sent it all to the fans so that they can fill it out. Say, hey, I think this team's going to win this team, et cetera, and all the way to the Super Bowl. And whoever gets the most amount of points ends up winning. And I have calculated all the scores, and I know who the grand winner is. And I know who the grand winner is between us three, because I'll spoiler out the bag. Us three did not win, okay? Unfortunately. So we'll see. We'll get into all of it, but are you guys ready, or what are you guys expecting when you guys pack into these brackets? I can tell you there's a whole lot of wrong answers. I can tell you that.
Wrong is the definition of my bracket. I'm very disappointed. Obviously, it didn't go my way, but even early on in the AFC side, it just did not look good for me. I spoiler alert, had the Chiefs going out first round. So,
yeah, man. My bracket was busted on that first day of playoffs too. So it just happens like that.
All right, so we're gonna rip the Band-Aid off right away, and I'm gonna show you guys the worst bracket, the absolute worst one. So that's where we're gonna start off, and that is our boy Brandon. Brandon had the absolute worst bracket. But he did get a few upsets here, and I do want to give him credit, okay? So let's start in the AFC. He got the Texans right, all right? So Texans, he predicted that right. He predicted to beat the Browns, so he beat me there because when we get into mine, you'll laugh at me. But then we go down to Dolphins and Bills. Technically, he was right about the Bills advancing, but he had them in the wrong spot. So he doesn't have the right spot, so I give him credit for that one.
No, he has it.
No, he put him in the wrong spot, so I didn't give him credit. I forgot. Yeah. So, yeah, if you didn't fill out correctly and you didn't have the home team in the top spots, the higher seed in the top spot, you didn't get your points. And let me tell you, there was a lot of those guys. So even if you had the Bills advancing, but you put them in the bottom one because you thought somebody else was going to be there, whatever the scenario, you were wrong. So it sucks to suck, but those are the rules, all right? So he gets 0 points over here. Then over into the AFC Championship, he had the Texans beating the Ravens, so he loses out on 10 points there. And he had the Bills advancing, so he loses out on 10 points there. And then he loses out on 15 with the Bills again. So the only thing he got right technically on the AFC side was the Texans. And he got 1 point for that.
1 point.
To tell you guys, Brandon's total point total is 17 points. If you go into the NFC side, if you see Bucks plus 1 point, so he got both of the upsets there as far as the lower seeds. He had the Bucks, and then down here he had the Lions in the correct spots, but then he had the Cowboys winning, and then he got 10 points with the Niners going to the NFC Championship. Then he got the Cowboys going to win the Super Bowl, so he lost out a lot of points there. So Brandon was our least accurate. It's our worst bracket. Sorry not to call you out, Brandon, but hey, you put your name out there. You put the teams where you wanted to. And you gotta represent now. So this was our worst bracket. What do you guys think looking at this thing?
I just like how confident he was to the point where he didn't even put a tiebreaker. He was like, F this, hold my beer, I got this. Cowboys all the way, baby. That's where you went at fault. You went for the Cowboys, man. I mean, you weren't the only one, but at least fill out the tiebreaker, my guy.
Yeah. Hey, tiebreaker for last, you know?
Oh, dang. How crazy.
Yeah. So this was the worst one. Now we're going to jump over into ours, okay, guys? AJ's on the AFC side. He had the Chiefs getting first round bounce, and he had the Dolphins moving in to the second round. Was wrong there. I understand the hype behind the Dolphins, and I'm not going to fault you for it, but boy, that really messed up your bracket right there, right, AJ?
It did. Yeah, it did.
Yeah. And then moving down, he had the Bills advancing, which he was right, so he got 5 points there. But the Brownies did not advance. which I was kind of on the Brownie side also, but they did not advance, so he lost 5 points there. Then he gets 10 points for the Ravens on the top, and then Bills he missed out on. Then he had the Bills going all the way to the Super Bowl.
Whew. I did. Yeah, I thought this was their year. They were loaded, man. But I should have known once Taylor Swift was taking stage. I should have known. Yep. She should have been out first round.
Jeez. Oh, the Bills did lose against the Super Bowl champions, so you can't knock them too much, I think. And then we go to the NFC side. He had the Rams beating up the Lions, so misses out on a lot of points there. Then he had the Cowboys advancing, which a lot of people did. Very few people picked the Packers, not me. He had the Eagles also advancing. So he got all the first round of the NFC completely wrong, unfortunately.
Yep, I did.
But he redeems himself by getting 10 points for the Niners going to the NFC Championship and another 15 for the Niners going to the Super Bowl. So he did redeem himself, getting him an extra 25 points there. AJ ended up finishing in second place in NSP with a total of 40 points. So not bad, not bad. Vincent, what are your thoughts about looking at this one?
I mean, I'm in my honest opinion, like if I'm looking at this before everything happened in the playoffs, it looks like a pretty good bracket, like all the teams that AJ picked were firing on all cylinders before the playoffs, despite the Eagles. The Eagles are just they combusted. Yep. But Cowboys were playing well. Rams were playing well. We thought they were going to be a top offense, and they put up a lot of points against the Lions, but the Lions just outlasted them. Dolphins, like, who would have thought? Who would have thought they just like totally bust like that after having a good offense? So at first look, this bracket looks pretty dang good to me, right? And I'm sure it did to AJ when he made it too. But it just happens, man. Playoffs are playoffs. Anybody's day is on Saturday and Sunday. So
for sure. And as they always say, hindsight is 20/20. But unfortunately, we cannot predict the future. So now we're going to jump over to me. And unfortunately, boys, I am the last place. So let me zoom in here.
I wish you could cue that ugly, from Fat Jack, that cartoon back in the day.
Mm-hmm. This is last place for NSP. I did beat out a few of our NSP faithful out there. But mine was not very good. We'll jump into the AFC side first. I had the Brownies going all the way to the freaking Super Bowl, which really lost me out on a lot of points there. I did get 10 points over here in the bottom of the AFC with the Bills and Chiefs. So I did get 10 points there. I got that right, at least. But I had the Bills going to the AFC Championship and the Brownies. And I had the Brownies going to the Super Bowl. Like, oh, boy. That lost me a lot of points there. Jumping over to the NFC side, I had the Packers losing, which because I wanted to be right. I believed that the Packers could have won, but I just didn't want to put my name on it and put it on the bracket.
Shame on you. Shame on you.
You're gonna be cursed now, Reed.
Yes.
I know.
No Super Bowls for 10 years.
It's unfortunate. So I lost out on that. I had the Cowboys, and then I had the Lions in the wrong spot, so I don't get points there either. And I had the Cowboys going to the NFC Championship. I only get the 10 points for going for the Niners, and the Niners going to the Super Bowl. And then I had the Niners picked for the Super Bowl. That could have redeemed me, and that would have put both me and AJ above Vince, but the Niners just coming up just short, unfortunately. So this is mine. I had a total of 36 points for mine, which means that Vincent got first. Before we jump into his, what are y'all's thoughts on what you're looking at right here? Obviously, the Brownies winning the Super Bowl is the most embarrassing thing here.
That's wild to me. I mean, that's my first thought. It's just like, why are you putting so much stress into Joe Flacco? And I remember I was at the gym while you're going live on this, and I was calling you out for Joe Flacco. And you gave me some backlash there. You gave me a lot of backlash.
I did.
I can't say too much because my bracket was very wrong as well. But to the Super Bowl, Joe Flacco to the Super Bowl? Are you kidding me?
Listen, like he was experienced. He was looking like his old self when they went to the Super Bowl all those years ago with the Ravens. I looked at the matchup, Brownies versus Ravens against this old team. I was like, oh, I love that. I was just on one that day when I made this, unfortunately. And yeah, as soon as I set my mind on it, I just could not. And I didn't know the stat, and shame on me for not looking up my stats, but I did not know that the first overall defense was also on, when they were away, the 32nd overall defense. I did not know that stat. If I would have known that when they're playing on the road the whole playoffs, they were the 32nd in defense, I would have switched that right away. I did not know that stat, and they just bring it up the day of the game, and I'm like, well, I wish I would have known that before I put my whole money on the Brownies going. So shame on me, but yeah, this is a little embarrassing looking back at it.
Hey man, Reed was just looking for all the historic type of matchups. So like he was saying, Browns versus Ravens, and then of course Joe Flacco against the San Francisco 49ers. I think that was another one. So I don't blame him, but I will blame you for having them go all the way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, this was definitely my fall from grace from winning it last year to getting last in NSP. Not last against the fans, just last between us three. So definitely a fall from grace. There needs
to be a punishment for you, Reed.
Whoa, no. We got to decide that up front.
No, I think I got a good punishment idea. I mean, I think I could say it here while we're recording. I think you should wear a dog mask.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Why not, dude?
We know a guy.
I don't. If you buy me one, I'll wear it. But
I know a guy who has one.
I ain't taking his. His probably has some diseases or something.
Oh, jeez, dude!
We're pulling up Vincent. Here's Vincent's. All right. So here's Vincent's, and Vincent got first as far as us three. He did not get first overall. We'll jump into who got first here in a second. But he also had the Browns beating the Texans. But he did get the Bills-Chiefs right. But he said the Bills were going to advance and the Ravens were going to advance. So he only gets Ravens points correct. He had the Ravens going all the way to the Super Bowl and winning it. So he loses out on a lot of points there by predicting that, unfortunately. If we jump over to the NFC side, he had the Rams beating the Lions, did not believe in them Lions. Also did not believe in the Packers, so he got that wrong. And he believed in the Eagles, which that's same as AJ. He just completely whiffed on the first round of the NFC. But he redeems himself by getting the Niners to the NFC Championship and the Super Bowl, so he gets a lot of points there and saves himself. So, Vincent, what are you thinking now looking back at this bracket?
Hey man, I think I was more worried about the AFC side than I was on the NFC side, and I guess I should have switched that around and done a little bit more thinking on the NFC side. But I mean, it happens. Just like I said with AJ's, I thought all these teams could have advanced. They were just playing really good football at that point in time, so it happens. 0 for 3 on the NFC, that's fine. We'll see how I'll do better next year.
I could definitely see why you complimented my bracket there, because ours is pretty much identical, except I had the Dolphins beating the Chiefs, so a 5-point difference for us. I mean, that's absolutely insane. But I mean, at hindsight, right, when you look at this bracket, you're talking about before the playoffs even start, you're looking at this, you're like, yeah, this is it. It's a strong bracket here. I could justify every single one of these teams and winning these games and how they're going to win and why they would win. But unfortunately, it's just regular season, I'm on point. I'm on fire regular season. Postseason, that's where I struggle the most. These are just different teams in the postseason. But yeah, I like it. I deserve to win first. Nice.
All right, so this is Big E's one of the biggest fans of the podcast here. Big E submitted his, and he did pretty well. He actually got third place overall, someone beat him up by 1 point, so he got fourth place. My bad. Big E got fourth place. He predicted the Browns beat the Texans. He was wrong there, but he did get Chiefs Bills. The Chiefs Bills was a pretty common thing around all of the brackets. Was everybody thought this matchup was going to happen down here. So he got that right here. And then jumping down into the Browns and Bills, he got both of those wrong. So he missed out on huge points in AFC. Jumping into the NSC Eagles, he got +1. Eagles he missed on. Lions he got +5. Missed out on points for the Cowboys. Moving over there. Actually, I just realized he got some of these.
Yeah, he got those wrong.
Yeah, he filled this out wrong. So, yeah, Biggie, you actually missed out on a lot of points here. So
he had 30 points instead of did he have 50?
No, he missed out on a lot of points. I just realized that. I counted his wrong. All right, so he actually got a very few points here. So, Biggie, you got to learn how to fill out your brackets, all right, buddy? But show Liam's bracket right here. Liam is also one of the big fans of NSP. He submitted his bracket here, and he got the Browns winning, so he was wrong there. A lot of people counted out the Texans, and hey, you missed out on 1 point there, but those points matter. He got the Chiefs and Bills correct down here. Ravens, Bills, he got Ravens correct. And then Ravens, he had them to go to the Super Bowl. He was wrong there. He had the Packers winning, so he gets +1 right there. Going down to the Eagles and Rams, both wrong right there, but he gets 10 points for the Niners, 15 for the Niners going to the Super Bowl, but misses out on the Super Bowl winner. So Liam got about 46 points here.
I'll deduct 4 points just because he's a Chargers fan.
Okay, understood. Got it.
But I think that's as far as I'll go. I mean, there's no creativity in this sheet. You know, it's just plain, default fonts. It's blue, and I'll deduct another 2 points for that. 51. The over under was 48, was it? So yeah. that's well over it. So that went to deduct a little bit more points, at least 1 point for that as well. The name is pretty small. That's another point. And just because I don't like you, Liam, another half point for that. So I think it's a lot lower than what you scored him, in my opinion.
Gotcha. The rivalry continues. Vincent, what do you think?
Hey, man, it looks like Liam checked the Discord after I posted mine, and he was like, you know what? I'm just going to change the Packers, and that's my bracket.
So, that's what it looks like, yeah.
He copied me, and he beat me by 1 point just right there, so. But good job,
well,
Liam.
Not anymore. I deducted his points.
Oh, yeah. Now
Gotcha.
Liam's at 37 or something.
Yeah.
All right. So now our next one that we're going to look into, and there's more, but we're not going to show all of them just for the sake of time. But we're going to show the final one, the grand winner of this third annual NSP NFL playoff bracket. And the big winner is Jeremiah. Jeremiah is a friend of Vincent and our family member, I think he said, who has watched the podcast a couple times, I believe. But he submitted this bracket, which we appreciate, and it was our grand winner right here. So he missed out on Browns points right here, but he got the Chiefs Bills right. And then he got Ravens +10 right here, Chiefs +10, and then he missed out on points for the Ravens going to the Super Bowl and winning. But he got +1 with the Bucks right there. Lions, he got +5. Niners and Lions, he got correct. Niners getting to the Super Bowl +15 for a grand total of 70 points, with Jeremiah being our grand winner.
Nice.
That's crazy. Yeah, I like that NFC AFC matchup. He got those perfectly, so I understand why he won now.
Yep, those points at the end really round up right there.
Yeah, it's pretty dang good. Pretty dang good. Not bad. Congrats, man. Congrats.
Very nice. All right, so that is the NSP playoff bracket right there, and we will be continuing this next year, so make sure you guys stay tuned to the podcast for everything this offseason, and as we get up into the NFL draft, the preseason, and then we jump back into the season, and then we're right back into the playoffs next year. It's going to be a long time, but it's going to be worth it. It's going to be a long off season, but we're going to be looking forward to it and all the details going in, all the free agency moves, etc. It's going to be fun. So thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like button if you guys enjoyed this video. Hit the subscribe button if you guys want to stay tuned to everything NSB. And until next time, keep on grinding.
Be strong. Be strong.